Alright, my name is Vivamun from Black Sox. You can make contact with us on info@blacksox.com. This is hmptv. Amazing platform. Make sure you watch it, keep it locked.
I greet you, my beloved and beautiful black sisters and brothers and others, with the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Hotep. Alafia. Free the land. What's up? And black laws for all black people. It's indeed my honor to be a part of history. We set forth here tonight that the black Holocaust is 100 times worse than the so-called Jew Holocaust. Why do we even need to make a comparison? Because it was all no good President but to Jimmy Carter who stepped out and stepped forward when they were beginning to prepare to build the Jewish Holocaust Memorial. It was Jimmy Carter who said that it was the most unspeakable crime in the history of all time. He made a statement of comparison. Wow. When we deal with General David Eisenhower,
so much information. We're going to get a DVD of this, so I pray for my brother over there to make it available to people, because that information there is what it's about, you know. Postcodes and all of that. Now, I'm going to be, what's the word? Controversial now. I think the Nation of Islam, we're kind of like responsible for some of this postcode stuff. I think so. I think so. So I'm just going to be honest. We could have been even the inventors of it, to be honest. So we got the most work to do, I think, Brother Leo. We're responsible for some of this isms that's going on out here. Now, the Caucasians got our children's minds every day for how many hours at school, programming them to think their way. And then it's hard for us to get back into their minds. But with our children and with our daughter, when she came home, we made sure we asked her what happened and reprogrammed her to make sure she knew she was black, black counted, black is beautiful, and not the negatives that came with our beautiful skin tone.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful skin tone. It's the most, you all are so beautiful. I mean, you are beautiful people. That's why the leader worked for how many years now? 60 years in our community. He just loves our people. And the next brother I'm bringing up, I've known him for around about 25 years as well. It's a long time. We've all been around. It's a reunion. But it's a reunion on a basis that we have a lot more knowledge.
Yes, sir.
But in that knowledge, we've got a lot of pain.
Right, sir.
And in that pain, we now know how to deal with people on a better level. Do you understand what I'm saying, people? Because you only learn, you know, we go into things and we go into them and we go into them bullheaded. We wanna, this is us and I'm right, but we don't really think about the whole situation that we're in. And we get blinded. So what we're going to do here, and we're going to show you here, from the nation point of view, we're going to unite with those of the right kind of thinking. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because it's now time, we've got no more time to waste. God is on scene. This is what we didn't even mention God today, really. But God is on scene. And everything that's happening is for a reason. And see me and my beautiful brother here, we're together and we're all together for a reason. And we're not going backwards to foolishness. We're going forward with power and energy. So with that said, let us bring on our beautiful brother Leo. Muhammed.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, I bear witness that there is but one God, whose proper name is Allah, who came to us in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever. Beloved brothers and sisters, we say in the Nation of Islam that we can never thank him enough for coming. because as a people, we're in a really, really destroyed state. When he came, brothers and sisters, it wasn't accidental. It wasn't random. It was written. And when he came, he found a black man in Detroit. And this black man, we call him the most honorable Elijah Muhammad.
That's right.
Initially, he had titles like the Messenger of Allah. It's a beautiful title. Think about that. A man who is bringing a message specifically and directly from God. But as we have grown in the understanding and the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we've come to an appreciation and realization that he is more than a messenger, brothers and sisters. He is that long-awaited Messiah, the one that the Jews are waiting for, the one that Christians are waiting for, the one that Muslims are waiting for. We believe him to be the long-awaited Messiah, the exalted Christ. That, see, there's only one reason in truth why I'm standing before you and talking like this at this moment in time. Having listened to my brother Viv. See, we're coming from completely different schools and backgrounds. You were listening to a learned individual. Somebody who through study and diligence has learned specific facts and information that he can impart to other human beings. I didn't come up like that. I hardly went to school. I've had about 3 years of formal education my entire life. And what that means is that I don't stand before you as some learned individual. I stand before you as somebody who has come up from the gutter. I want you to hear me well.
Go ahead, bro.
But there's a reason why I'm standing before you and speaking to you in this manner today. I feel very emotional, actually.
Go ahead.
I've got to calm myself down.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Because when that man came, he fulfilled prophecy. And Elijah Muhammad is the man who left with us, the man who caused Brother Barry, myself, all of the current members of the Nation of Islam that you see around. The man who caused us to be here. That is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Sir.
If it wasn't for him, all praise and glory to Allah. If it wasn't for him, there'd be no Leo Muhammad.
Come on.
My name when I was coming up was Hugh, listen to my name, Hugh Chester Jones. I mean, it just sounds so stupid. Hugh is Welsh. Chester sounds like an American dog or something, some cowboy or something. And Jones is Welsh, which tells you that the slave master who owned my family was a Welshman.
That's right.
That's where it comes from. But this man, Louis Farrakhan, I've got to tell you, beloved family, you know, when I was growing up, I was searching. I was one of these curious individuals. I was born on the island of Jamaica, and my family were not poor. They were quite well-to-do. But then they made the mistake of believing the hype from the UK, where Enoch Powell and others like that were calling for black people to come and rebuild the country after Hitler's bombs. And my father, who was a civil servant, he was the 3rd secretary in the Prime Minister's office. But he thought that he could come here and be a civil servant here. My father told me a story. He said he believes that the police officers in the police station, when he went to become a police officer here, he says he believes that they're still rolling on the floor laughing. Because in those days they didn't need black policemen. And by the way, for those of you who think when you see all these black people now being recruited into the police that it's such a good thing. No. They want them for a particular reason.
Yes, sir.
Because these black youth that we're talking about, they constitute a particular problem. And they need some of us to handle them. And we have to understand that divide and rule as a concept has never, ever ended. It just has metamorphed into another dimension of sophistication. And most of us today are divided against one another. And we don't even know it. And we don't realize that it's by design. So I'm grateful and thankful, brothers and sisters, to this man, the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan, for, listen to the way the Honourable Louis Farrakhan said it. Listen to what he said. Because some of us think that the Million Man March was the greatest thing that he did, or some other beautiful thing that he did, and he's done some great things on behalf of black people and wider humanity. But listen to what the Honourable Louis Farrakhan said. He says the wisest thing that he ever did was to recognize the Honourable Elijah Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to go a little bit today into this man, Master Farad Muhammad, and the Honourable Elijah Muhammad, and the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan, because it's critically important to this concept of stop the killing. Because I want to pose some questions to us. But let me say it like this, beloved family. Minister Farrakhan is the most beautiful human being I've ever met in my life. I want you to hear me now. Please understand what I'm saying to you. I'm not talking about some spookified individual. I'm not talking about some funny kind of love. I can tell you, as you're sitting here and I'm standing here, that that man loves you, you black man sitting there, you black woman sitting there. He loves any of his biological children. I want you to think about that kind of love. Because that's what attracted me to him. When I heard him for the first time, accidentally, just heard a tape that was being played. And I said, what is that? Who is that? And when I listened to that man, what I realized for the first time in my life was that somebody genuinely loved me and cared for me and desired to see me grow and change. Because where I was and where we are today, we are not where we're supposed to be. And every one of us needs to grow and change.
Yes, sir.
But we cannot grow and change by being browbeaten.
That's right.
By being evil spoken of.
Yes, sir.
By being tricked. By being lied to. By being cajoled. We can only grow and change if somebody cares enough to demonstrate to us that we should learn to love and care for self. That's what the Honourable Louis Farrakhan has taught me, and I will be forever grateful and thankful to Allah for that black man.
Yes, sir.
I've made this statement before, I'm going to make it again. I'm a soldier. Minister Farrakhan is my commander-in-chief. I wish we understood the kind of man that we got in front of us.
Yes, sir.
But I can't have a leader and teacher like that. And I'm going to submit myself to anything less. I want you to hear me. He teaches us to be men and women of God. And to fear nothing and no one but God. There's something about that that we need to understand. Because right now, in all honesty, I don't believe we do. So brothers and sisters, I'm trying to open up. I want to greet each and every one of you in the greeting words of peace. We say it in the ancient tongue of Arabic. Arabic is not, it doesn't belong to the Arabs, the present day Arabs. Doesn't belong to Pakistanis, doesn't belong to Asians. The Arabic language, we talk to all of them.
That's right.
But during slavery, during our abduction and the warfare that was perpetrated on us, it was forced, beaten, murdered out of us. Today you and I hear it and we think it belongs to somebody else. It is yours. It is mine. The words we use is Assalamu alaikum. Those words, when translated from Arabic into English, simply mean peace be unto you. And that's the spirit in which I stand before you today, in a spirit of peace. My desire is that you should be in peace, that you should have peace. It is our nature as black people. That's why on planet Earth today, you cannot find a gun with the black man's name on it.
That's right.
But we've been on the planet for trillions of years. Did you hear the number I said? I didn't say millions, I didn't say billions. Trillions of years. The black man and the black woman has been here. There is no anthropologist, no scholar, no historian that can show you a birth record for black people. In the Bible, we are called the Ancient of Days. In other words, however long the days were, we were here. There was no metamorphosis from a monkey.
No way.
Monkey is monkey, black man is black man.
That's right.
No relationship.
None at all.
Understand me, brothers and sisters. And so, the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan has been teaching now, for as Brother Barry said, and by the way, I can't go forward without saying, I want to thank Brother Barry. Thank you very much, brother, for the invitation. The North London Study Group putting on the event. Takes a big man, takes a mature man to understand that this process now that we're involved in is bigger than all of us. And I heard the Honourable Louis Farrakhan, because you know me, I'm actually quite a famous brother, you know. I am quite a famous brother.
Yes,
Believe me, I walk on the street, people come up to me and they want autograph. And I'm not talking about necessarily just nation, I'm talking about television, Real McCoy, all this kind of stuff. But I'm telling you, man, when people come up to me and treat me like that, I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, oh my God, don't you realize who you are?
Right.
I say things like this to people, because I see them looking at me in a certain way like, wow. And I'm saying, do you know how long they've been filming monkeys? They're still monkeys. They film trees in HD quality DVD. Still a tree. You don't see the tree walking around on the street, changing his walk. Because now I'm supposed to be this big shot. Look, family, please. Understand what I'm saying to you. You know, we must learn humility.
Yes, sir.
And understand, I heard the Honourable Louis Farrakhan say it like this one time. There was a huge gathering of people that he was speaking to. And they began to chant his name. You're all familiar with that, right? Yes. And the minister stopped them. He said, brothers, as much as I appreciate you chanting my name, he said, Farrakhan was born to die. He said, but Allah, God, lives forever.
Yes, sir.
Try this chant. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. And he changed the chant of the men. 20,000 men inside and another 20,000 outside who couldn't get in. Yeah, how many of us as men hearing 20,000 men chanting our name? Think about it. I'm asking you brothers, think about it. How many of us wouldn't find our head? There was a movie once called Scanners.
Yes, sir. Really.
Maybe the head would just explode. But humility is something we have to learn.
That's right.
The minister said on another occasion, he said many people have spoken before and got applause by thousands and millions. And many hundreds and thousands and millions of audiences have also clapped and cheered before for those speakers before. He said, but those speakers are dead. Right. Those audiences are dead. Right. So don't get carried away.
That's right.
This is not what we think it is. It doesn't belong to us. I love when Brother Biff said that the organization doesn't belong to anybody, it belongs to the community. I wonder when we're going to reach that level of maturity where we can understand that the nation of Islam doesn't belong to none of us.
Go ahead.
And that Master Farad Muhammad is the owner. See, because this concept of God, and we're dealing with stop the killing.
That's right.
But if we don't understand the role of God in this, then that's part of the problem that we have as black people in the black community, and why our children have gone astray. And they don't listen to us no more. Because the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan asked the question one time. He said, if a man won't treat you right, talking about the slave master and the 400 years of brutalization, rape and debauchery and all kinds of evil that was heaped on black people. He said, if the man won't treat you right, what makes you think that same man would teach you right? And then when you study rudimentary history, then you understand that all of our scholarship in Christianity and school and everything has come from the white man. We didn't all fly off to Africa and learn this, and even if we did, Africa was colonized. So you go to Africa today, there's an African man in Nigeria, his surname is Mr. Owalawa. Beautiful African name, but his first name is John.
Come on.
Because the white man got there too.
That's right.
He never left nothing untouched.
That's right.
And so all of what we know today has come from him. Even today you go into a school, you see the black teacher, and some of us get happy. Wow, got a black teacher. But the black teacher, who taught him or her?
Come on.
What textbooks were they using? So we have to understand that this condition that we are in comes from a miseducation, a misinterpretation of our very lives. And if we are to make the appropriate changes and do the things that brother is talking about in terms of do for self, which is the philosophy of the Nation of Islam, do for self or suffer the consequences. If we are to do this, then we have to understand that fundamental change is necessary. Fundamental change. Not nitpicking, little tinkering here and tinkering there. How many of us are ready for fundamental change? Because in this world they teach that the one constant is what?
Change.
Change.
Yes.
Everything is forever changing and evolving. That's real. But then they teach in the same breath that the thing that people, human beings, fear the most is what? Change. So that's a dichotomy. It's a dilemma. But we have to understand, beloved brothers and sisters, that change is inevitable. And there's a scripture, Brother Michael, is it Romans?
Romans 7, verse 14, 25.
You sure?
Which one are you talking about?
Romans 12, chapter 2, is it?
Alright, yeah. Maybe I was thinking what Paul talking about his mind?
No. No, this is the scripture where we're taught, be ye not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewal of your mind. I don't even think about this now. See, because how many of us are prepared? Do we understand that the entire mind, and when I say mind, it's not confined to your skull. Your mind is what you can project. That's why you can close your eyes right now and be in Jamaica or Mauritius or some other place, because your mind is expansive. It's as big as the universe.
Yes, sir.
But even though it's that beautiful and that expansive, if the thinking coming out of the grey matter, the brain is wrong, then it influences the wrong mind. We're in the wrong mind.
That's right.
We're not perceiving things correctly. Our vision is wrong. It's off. Our imagination is off. We may be having vain imaginations as opposed to great imaginations. There's a difference. And so, beloved family, I'm saying that we have to look very carefully at this world that we find ourselves in and understand prayer time. Understand that what the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan is giving us from the Honourable Elijah Muhammad and from Master Farad Muhammad, this is the key to our potential success or our failure. I can't butter it up and tell you some little fairy story. I've got to tell you the truth. If I'm invited to speak, then I have to tell you the truth. That this, see, understand what I said earlier. Master Farad Muhammad, that's the man who is predicted to come from the east, even onto the west. That's the scriptures. That's the same man who comes, the Son of Man who comes and judges the earth, the world. That's the man, brothers and sisters, that is written of in scripture. And what I'm saying is that we can't circumvent that, go around that and think that we're going to be successful if we are believers. That's also important, because if you're a disbeliever, if you don't believe in Bible, you don't believe in Quran, well, it's irrelevant to you. Not that it won't affect you, because it will. But regardless of whether you and I like it or not, the fact is that there is a God.
Yes, sir.
Now you have many black people now, lots of black people running around talking about they're atheists. This is a direct result of the influences that have been bombarding us to the degree now where some of us are now atheists. Some of us now are homosexual. And we will say sincerely, some black people will say sincerely, I was born that way. As will their white counterparts. And you know, sometimes family, sometimes even with that, we think, what are you talking about? That must be wrong. No, family. The person who is saying it is sincere and true. Because believe it or not, this world is so warped. The teachings that people receive is so corrupt that when you feed on that for generation after generation after generation, don't be surprised that you may start to produce children now who have a particular bent or a particular leaning. See, some of us are giving birth to killers. I want you to hear me, beloved. Because I know we think that, you know, these young people, yeah, they kind of like, they just materialized one day. No, they didn't. They came from us. They came from us. The fruit does not fall far from the tree. And if our young people are all over the place, we can't look at them and point the finger at them. We have to have a look at ourselves and ask ourselves, when did we take our eye off the prize? What have we done? How did we fail? Because, you know, Brother Viv, I've met some of these young people, and I'm telling you, man, some of them are so angry, bro. And they're angry with black men. If you could hear some of the stuff that some of the young brothers are saying about black men, they literally want to kill us. And then some of us in our ignorance, I'm talking to the elders now, we sit around in the barber shops ourselves, talking about, I heard some brothers the other day, some elders saying we should line them up against a wall and shoot them. This is the hatred that's in the black community now. The youth hate the elders, and the elders hate the youth. By design. So, this killing thing, the other day, a couple of Wednesdays ago, another young brother in Harlesden, I think his surname is Tetlow, he was gunned down. They think it was a submachine gun, a Uzi or something like that that was used. Turns out that he was a completely innocent party. But nevertheless, he's dead. In the days after that shooting in the Queen's Park area, there were 6 separate stabbings in 3 days. Some of them critical. They're still on life support machines as we speak. This is what's going on in our black communities. in some parts of the black community, it's literally like a war zone. You got young people walking around and they're literally looking over their shoulders. They can't go into certain areas. It's not a choice for some of them. They know that if they wander into the wrong place, they will die or they will have to kill. This is real. And we have to ask ourselves the question, how do we solve this? Because the title that I was given for this meeting is Stop the Killing, Healing the Wounds, part 2. Because Brother Barry and the brothers and sisters in North London did part 1. Well, let's just get right to it. See, in a way, when I was listening to Brother Viv, you know, he was right on it. Because he said what I came to say today. Which is that, see, we have to be in the black communities. Especially the brothers. We have to be on the streets. But I know talk is cheap. I know it's cheap. We have to go among our people. Even for the concept of black socks to really work with all the organizations. See, unless the people, the young people recognize us and we recognize them, and they realize that we're an integral part of their lives and they're an integral part of our lives, then it remains theoretical, not practical, not actual, not reality. We have to change the paradigm. At the moment, there is a huge divide between black youth and black elders. Right. Most of us can't even get a conversation in our own homes with our own children. Right. They're on the phone. Look, man, let me tell you something. And you know, this aggression that we think that we have to bring to everything that we do, that's a big mistake as well. But we have to get back to some really old-fashioned things, brothers and sisters. I really love dressing like this. You know why? Because it's old-fashioned. I ain't into no new fashion. Not interested. Not interested in no little short jacket. Tight jacket. Tight. Everything tight. Look like normal wisdom. Not interested in it. Look like a damn idiot. I'm not interested in no skinny jean type suit with then the backside is all baggy. Not interested. What is that? To make our youth look like fools? Yes, sir. I'm not interested. You won't see David Cameron dressing like that. That's right. You won't see Barack Obama dressing like that. That's right. You won't see any of the power brokers dressing like that. But these new fashions, these trousers down, underpants out, everybody just tattooed up to the eyeballs, piercings, left, right, and center. Let me tell you something. This is a setup. Yes, sir. It's a setup. And it's designed to make everybody alienated against everybody else. Instead of a uniformity and a oneness, which comes from following the way of God, which is old-fashioned. See, God is old-fashioned. That's right. He says in the scripture, I don't change. See, fashion lasts for a minute. That's right. Can you remember, brother, you remember when we used to wear them flares in the 70s? Yes, sir. You remember the ones we used to have an extra color in the flare? Some of you never had that proper flare. So when you walk and it flick, you see the color flash. Do you remember when we had the hipsters back in the day? See, the youngsters now, they think they've invented something. But there's nothing new under the sun. It's all recycled. And now, you know, we allow our young people to go down that road and not kind of show them, look, man, it's not new. What's new now? I said to a young brother the other day, brother, I can take off my clothes now and show you my body. Brother, I'm a unique individual because I'm not tattooed. You want to be unique? Now everybody one arm gone, tattoo. Think about it. And everybody is convinced that they've invented something. And then how they try to justify it, they say, well, that's my dad's name. That's my child's name. That's my uncle's name. But it's just a fashion. That's all it is. And then when you reach another era of growth and development, you say, oh my God, why did I do that?
That's right.
Because we all grow. See, now when we look back at the flared trousers, we look at how I used to dress. Because it's teaching young people patience. It's teaching them being involved in their lives intimately, that we've lost hold of them. We're no longer relating to our children. We've got to get back to eating dinners at the table.
Yes, sir.
We've got to get back to cooking. 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 Not McNasty's. Not Ken Dutty. Which one is that one? Mr. Crippling. Yeah. Cripple you up. We've got to get back to relating. There's a huge divide between the black man and the black woman now.
That's right.
It's real. And real hatred. A lot of black women are very angry with the black man. And she does not want to know. And she's been wooed by Satan. Because some of them are wise enough to know the only way they're going to stay around here. Because, by the way, the reason I don't spend a lot of time talking about him, because he's finished. I want you to understand something, because I know some of us, we look around and we think, oh, the white man is finished. His world is finished. Do you remember there was a time back in the day when you could almost rely on the white man? Things would work, you know that you could rely on him to get things to you on time and do. Haven't you noticed that his world is falling apart? Haven't you noticed that he doesn't know what his right hand is doing, the left hand don't know what the right hand is doing? Can't you see how confused he is in politics and in business?
Yes, sir.
Can't you see his world is falling apart?
That's right.
And by the way, Europe is soon to become a theatre of war.
Yes, sir.
War. Do you know what war is? Do you realize what happens when war breaks out and they're fighting against people with your complexion? You think you're going to be able to go next door and get some sugar because you run out? You think you're going to be able to run down to the supermarket and compete for the last loaf of bread? See, you don't understand Caucasians when they get hungry. They're not like you. They don't behave like you when they get hungry, when they get desperate. The mask of civility comes off.
That's right.
See, black people, we can starve to death. Skin hanging off bones. Huge stomachs full of nothing but air. Flies around our mouth and our eyes as Biafrans or Ethiopians. And you will see a calm that you're thinking, my God. People just sit there and die quietly. Caucasians don't die like that. They get hungry, somebody is going to be eaten.
That's right.
And you look like food. Hear me well.
Yes, sir.
Because you see, you believe the hype. Oh, black people, you heard about black people being cannibals. You saw some cartoon one time drawn of an African with a pot, a big pot, and a white missionary sitting in the pot, and the African is cutting onions and putting it to cook up this man because African people are cannibals. Really?
Really?
You cannot find one genuine, documented incident of cannibalism among black people in Africa or anywhere. We don't do it. But I can show you cannibalism among these every day.
Yes, sir.
From your Jeffrey Dahmers to when they had the aircraft crash in recent times, and after about 3 days, not even 3 weeks, you know, brother. About 3 days. Man's chewing on the pilot's leg. I'm dead already. He's dead. These people don't know nothing about privation. They don't know nothing about going without. You do. Our parents juggled. This week, I'm going to buy sugar. That means somebody can't get milk. This is how we've lived as black people. Even to this day, some of us, I know some of us got the latest iPhone. No credit, but we got the phone. Because our nature is that we like the best.
Yes, sir.
We've got a proper car, proper ride outside. No petrol. But it's our nature. See, when you're coming from a long line of kings and queens, this is what we've got to understand about who we are. That we want the best, but because of impoverishment, it's not your fault, it's by design. Because of economic manipulation, because of smart, crooked deceivers, we are in a particular condition. But so, brothers and sisters, this killing that's going on. And by the way, you know, in the 10 Commandments, I think it's number 6 that says, thou shalt not murder. Not thou shalt not kill. We kill every day, we kill things. You kill, if a fly comes into my house and I'm eating my dinner, you're looking at a dead fly. Okay? And you just got to understand, when you know, insects and things come to eat up your crops, you got to take care of business.
Yes,
it's not that God says that all killing is wrong, but murder of another human being without good reason, because there could be a good reason. Man's trying to kill your... There was an incident in North America where there was a brother, a father walking with his 18-year-old daughter, and 5 demons came up to him and told him, leave. Wow. Leave. And he left. And then the 5 of them raped his daughter. Look, beloved. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan says, under certain circumstances, that's a good day to die.
That's right.
I mean, I want you to put yourself in that father's place now. Could you look at your daughter again in her face? Come think about that. Do you realize what rape does to a woman? And not just one individual, but 5? And your father was there and he left you? See, I know, you know, I'm in danger of sounding like one of these armchair critics. You know, because we all do that, right? We say, boy, you see me, boy, I did that slavery, you know, boy. When we do that do.
Yeah.
And a lot of the slaves tried to do something.
That's right.
And some of them ended up on a burning stake. Some of them ended up with their heads severed. Some of them ended up being pulled in 4 different directions by 4 different horses.
That's right.
And then they would put the limbs at different parts on the plantation so that all the other slaves would be reminded, don't go there. But despite all of that genocide and brutality, do you know that we still had warriors?
Yes, sir.
Who would step up to the plate and die rather than live on the tyranny? So I'm telling you, I'm praying that Allah don't put me to the test. I'm praying He don't put me to the test. I don't want that test. But me, walk away and leave my daughter? Let me tell you something. That will be the last day that you see Leo Muhammad. You're looking at a dead man. And I'm not dying whimpering, oh, kill me. No, I'm taking all 5. Somebody else is going to die.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
We've got to develop a different mentality, family. That's sick. Mentally, walk away and leave your daughter. See, killing is prohibited willy-nilly. But we have to understand that we must stop this murder that's going on. This senseless murder that's going on with our youth killing one another. Do you know, brothers and sisters, do you know that the young people who are killing one another right now, it's all bravado? Do you realize that? Do you realize that there's not one of them boys out there who is an evil, disgusting... He's not.
Right.
You know why I can say that? Because I used to be one of them, man.
Right.
As God is my witness. I used to carry guns. I used to be one of them people. Malcolm X, he was one of them.
Right.
But with a good word. With a word that is nurtured within the individual. Not a word that you give today, and when the individual messes up tomorrow, you beat him up. You just hate him. He's just wicked. No, man. A word that is constant. And not just the word. But you see, for us to go out into those streets, family, before we can go in those streets, Brother Viv said it, man, we have some self-cleansing to do.
Right.
Some self-improving to do.
Yes, sir.
Because we are not right.
That's right.
Don't be fooled by the suit. In some of us are some demons. And this hatred that we have for another black man. See, as you listen to me, brothers, what you should be doing, this is what I'm telling you, what you should be doing as you listen to me. You should be saying, you know what? What this man is saying, it resonates with me. If it does, I'm not saying to say that if it doesn't, but if it resonates, you should be saying, boy, I want to take on board what this man is saying. I want to make a change in my life. And thank God that he brought this man, these men, to say these words to you today. Because it's God who is doing this. It's nothing to do with Leo Muhammad. We're vessels. But be careful now, if you're sitting there, but in your mind you're saying, oh, is it him? Why is it him? It should be me. You'd be surprised how many men watch other men and all they're thinking about is an overthrow. It's sick.
That's right.
You'd be surprised. I got people in this country, they don't like me because Allah has blessed me to be able to articulate myself.
Right.
They don't like me because Allah has blessed me to become a so-called TV personality. But that's me. I went to drama school to train to be an actor. I went and did some stuff and I paid dues and I went and got my card in the days when you had to have an equity card. And I went and I practiced and I studied and I learned and I got to the point where I could do what I do. But guess what? Every single one of you in this room, bar none, you are so gifted.
Yes, sir. That's right.
There is not a black man in here who is not highly favored and highly gifted. But you have to take a look at yourself.
Yes, sir.
And find out what is my gift. Same for the sisters. Allah don't leave no one out.
Right.
That's right.
But don't make a mistake by thinking that my gift belongs to you. That's my gift.
Yes, sir.
Come on, sir. Yes.
And it don't matter how good I am at my gift, it doesn't ill affect you.
That's right. Come
That's
on.
Yes, sir.
Do you know that in the UK, we need hundreds of thousands of believers?
Yes, sir.
Can I say that again?
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead.
We need hundreds of thousands of believers here in the UK. I'm talking Nation of Islam now.
Yes, sir.
Do you know that we need thousands of student ministers?
Yes, sir.
Do you realize that? That's what we need. Thousands up and down the country. What kind of a mentality would make anyone think that there should just be one voice?
Come on.
Come on.
One voice!
Stop the killing. Stop the killing.
Look, family, that's right, brother. Stop the killing. Because killing is not just taking a gun and pulling a trigger. Killing is not just taking a knife and plunging it into somebody's flesh. Killing is when you attack the spirit of another human being. When you are a spirit killer. When you are a suppressor. When you are a dictator.
Yes, sir.
Tin pot, by the way. And you believe that you can dictate this process which you are not the author of.
Right.
Muslim in the Nation of Islam around 1991, registered. Before that, I was known in this country as a black activist. I was on every demonstration, you name it, anti-apartheid, I was there. One of few black people there. All of the anti-apartheid demonstrators in those days were white.
That's right.
I was one of the few blacks. Every demonstration, myself and Spartacus R, we developed a technique where we would go into the supermarkets, pick up all the South African goods, fill up about 2 massive trolleys, check them through the checkout. Then when we got to the last item, oh my God, these are all from South Africa. Can't possibly pay for that. Mash up their tills.
Yes, sir.
This is what we used to do. We got arrested for it. They arrested us and they said that we were threatening behavior because we clenched our fists when we were being arrested. And we proved in court that the clenched fist was a sign of solidarity.
That's right.
And we were acquitted. But my point is this, family, as I begin to wrap up these brief remarks to you today. We can't go out to stop the killing and be killers ourselves.
That's right.
And many of us are killers. We spend an inordinate amount of time trying to kill other people around us because, and we think, oh, we're just trying to control them. We're just trying to get them, set them right. We're just trying to make sure that they don't do the wrong thing. No, beloved family. One of the things I love about the Honourable Louis Farrakhan is that he frees us.
Yes, sir.
Minister Farrakhan is not threatened by none of us who thinks that we're great speakers.
Right.
Look, man, anybody can speak. But who is actually effective?
Right.
Who is it that can unlock the light, life and power that's contained within the Word?
Right.
Who is it that can actually ignite that in another human being and make that human being to realize, man, feel empowered? Not on the basis of you, but on the basis of them, on the basis of themselves. That you make them to realize who they are, not who you are. This is not about me. This is about you. So we're going to go in the black community. But are you willing, brothers?
Yes, sir.
To submit yourself to being retrained?
Yes, sir.
Retaught? Are we humble enough? Because I'm a Jamaican. And Jamaicans, one of our favourite expressions, well, I know that already. You see that? I know that already. You can't tell me nothing. This is the foolishness that comes out of our mouths. Once you know it already, you can't learn nothing else.
Right.
We've got to humble ourselves.
Yes, sir.
Realize that we don't know what we think we know. We think we know ourselves so well. And then we will say, oh, I went chasing that car down the road, because you know I'm talking about road rage. I went chasing that car down the road because of what the other driver did. No. You were chasing that car down the road because you got no self-control.
That's right.
Got nothing to do with the other driver. Got everything to do with you. Me. Are we in control? Is our life being lived on purpose or accident?
Come on.
Do you know most of our relationships are accidental?
Yes, sir.
We meet at bus stops. That's a bit. Are you that? Yeah, mama like you know. Next thing they're in a club together. Next thing they dance together. He assumes she's now my girlfriend. She assumes he's now my boyfriend. There's no words exchanged. No words. Sometimes they go to bed that same night and after they've met at the bus stop. Next morning he's embarrassed because he's saying, what's your name again?
Uh-oh.
He hasn't met her mum.
That's right.
Hasn't met her dad. See, they got us now frowning on arranged marriages. But what the hell is it if it's not arranged?
Come on.
It's got to be arranged.
Yes, sir.
There's got to be some structure to the thing.
Yeah.
But now we're all frowning against arranged marriage. See these demons, the way they booby trap our minds.
Good.
There are certain buzzwords now that black people and others and Muslims are running from. fundamentalist. The fundamental is the foundation of the
That's
thing.
right.
That's right.
Without the fundamentals, you ain't got nothing.
That's right.
Yes, I'm a fundamentalist.
Mm.
Radical. Yes, we need radical change.
That's
I
right.
am a radical.
Yes, sir.
Revolutionary. Ooh. Revolution just simply means to turn.
That's right.
Revolution.
When Brother Ignatius opened up the meeting, he said, surely I am being turned, trying to be upright to him who originated the heavens and the earth. We've got to turn. We need a different orientation. Because the direction that we're heading in right now is heading right into the pit of hell.
Yes, sir.
So we've got to have a revolution, brothers and sisters. Listen to what George Orwell said. George Orwell, who is the author of 1984, Animal Farm and other books. George Orwell said, in a time of universal deceit, telling the truth will become a revolutionary act.
Yes, sir.
Think about that. In a time of universal deceit. By the way, that's the time we're living in. That's the time we're living in. Let me tell you, family, all is not what it seems. See people like me standing in front of you today? Test me. Did you hear what I said? Test me. Question me. Accuse me. And see what comes out of me. See? Don't just take what people say to you now. They come in front of you. They talk well. Test them.
Yes, sir.
And see if they are who they say they are.
That's
Right.
right.
Because we got some damn liars
Yes, sir.
in the black community. Professional liars.
Yes, sir.
They're good just like the white man now.
Right.
So don't be naive now. All is not what it seems.
That's right.
The scripture says, test the spirit to see if it's altogether what it is. In closing, beloved family, we have to go into the black communities. Our work is in those streets. That's why Jesus he was found in the streets with the prostitutes. Am I telling a lie?
No, sir.
He was found in the streets with the prostitutes and the thieves and those who were despised and rejected. See, that's where we have to be. And we can't be afraid of our own people. Those people are just like you and me.
Yes, sir.
They're just like you and me. When I see people mash up and messed up and down and out, I say, there but for the grace of God, go out.
That's right.
Because I've been there. I've slept on floors. I've slept in cars. I've slept on a prison bunk that was so contaminated and nasty that for months afterwards my back was a plethora, is that a good word? Of spots. I've been there. So we got to get away from this holier than thou thing that some of us got going on. We're so high, we're so up there, we're so righteous, we're so holy. Look, family, do you know that we can actually turn this thing around? Did you know that the youth on the street, they are soldiers
Yes, sir.
for God? Do you know that we have to stop being embarrassed about God? And we have to show the strength of God?
That's right.
Not this pathetic religion thing that many of us get caught up in. You know, this religion that we've been taught where we think a preacher talks like this. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today. This is what we think is religion. This is what we think is righteous and holy. No, beloved. That's an act. With somebody wearing fancy dress, robes, and we think, oh, how righteous. Come on, family. God has come. This is what's important. And when he came and he raised up this man, he gave him this authority. He gave him this scripture. And this scripture, think about this, brothers. When have you ever seen anything addressed to you? This is a message to the black man. I don't care what you are reading, Why are you not reading this? Muhammad Ali was holding this up in the 60s. Why have you not got it in your hand in 2016? Part of that, Brother Barry, is our fault.
Yes, sir.
Because we don't have enough of them on the table at the present time. But we're going to get it. We're going to make it available. And we're going to make sure that when you brothers come back and you bring the young brothers with you, and we go out into the black community and we fish them out of that cesspool,
Go ahead, black man.
that we have the message for them.
Yes.
By the way, some of you will jump on this. You say, oh, but it says message to the black man in America.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go, Scott.
America and the United Kingdom
Sir.
are one
Yes, sir.
and
Yes, sir.
the same.
Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Make no mistake. Some of us are so silly, we say, oh, that's a Yankee thing. Like we're separate and devoid from our brothers and sisters in the United States. It is one and the same. That's why you hear these people talking about a special relationship.
Yes, sir.
They are conjoined twins. If you want to know the true relationship, Britain is mother. America is the overgrown daughter. She's very greedy. She is a glutton. So she's huge. But her mum has remained slim and neat and tidy. When you go to North America, despite the glitz and the glamour that you see in the films, it is a mess. Did you hear what I said? It's a mess. Britain is tidy.
Yes.
They've got it locked down.
100%.
This is not, see, listen to me, good family. I'm closing. Can you just give me a couple more minutes, brother? You hear this term being bandied about, the belly of the beast.
Yes, sir.
Remember what I just said about America? She's a glutton. She's all guts. That's a belly. This is the mind
Yes, sir.
of the beast.
Teach, brother.
You live in the mind of the beast.
That's right.
You live in the thinking stuff. You live with the brains.
That's right.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said he is the wisest of all the Caucasians.
That's
That's right.
The English man.
100% there.
As black people living in the UK, you are so gifted and smart.
That's right.
Just for you to be able to survive here. Because this man don't play.
That's right.
In America, he'll lock you up and throw away the
Come
key.
on, I didn't tell you.
Here, he'll lock you up and throw away the room. There, he will smite at you and stab you in your back.
Thank you.
Here, his blade is so sharp, you never feel the cut.
God.
You're dealing with a different level of deception here.
Go ahead, brother.
Come on.
That's right.
This is real, what I'm telling you. That's why here, praise be to Allah. Here, most black people, they don't even think there's a race issue.
Go ahead. Oh, yeah.
Because their next door neighbor is white. In America, I've been in Chicago, man. I've been driving for hours, brother. Nothing but black people. I'm saying, I'm in America. I'm looking. I'm saying, God Almighty, if we had what they, brother, we would be cleaning up, cleaning up, because it's wide open. Black communities which are solid black. I was in New York in a place called Crown Heights.
Yes.
And I was on the street with all black people. Then there was a road that, you know, went between these two streets. And on the other side, it was all Jews. Acidic Jews wearing the black outfits. And no one crossed that street. And it was as clear cut as that. There was that road was a demarcation line. Nobody from this side went on that side. Nobody from that side went on this side. I said, wow.
Force field. Force field.
Yeah, like there was a force field there, bro. And that's how divided America is. I was driving in Chicago one time and I made a misturn and I got lost. And I didn't have a sat nav and I was guessing now. I'm all over the place. And I'm driving and I see the complexion of the people start to change. And they became like Mexican looking. And I'm telling you, man, the people started looking at my car. And they weren't looking with no nice look. They were like, oh,
What are you doing?
I had to swing around. It's that separate.
Yes, sir.
But here, we live on top of one another by design. He's very clever.
Yes, sir.
They're still separate. See, because you don't live in Virginia water.
Yes, that's right.
You don't live in Belgravia.
Yes, sir.
You don't live there. Understand? Gated communities.
Yes, sir.
But the reality is that we've got to learn how to effectively deal with this situation here. It's a different situation. It's a different mindset. And I'm appealing to you, family, that if we're going to stop this killing, it starts here in us. Our thinking. Our thinking about our young people in our homes, our youth, the young people that they move with. And we have to become a little bit more, I don't want to use the term that the minister used, but we've got to get a bit more manly, brothers. Can we get manly, brothers? Don't be afraid, brothers. Don't be afraid of them young people. Approach them. You'd be surprised. They'll listen to you, man. Especially if you're saying something constructive to them about them.
Yes, sir.
But that's the first part. We've got to go and engage with our young people. We're in Harlesden. On a Wednesday, we have a Wednesday meeting in Harlesden. And on Monday, we have manhood training class in Harlesden, right next to One Stop. That's where we're located, 7:30 on Mondays and Wednesdays. And there's some flyers here. Please pick one up before you leave. And we're doing that down there. And as Brother Barry said earlier, we intend to support everything that Brother Barry in North London and the believers up here are doing. We are one. You know, the way our attitude is that, you know, we're family.
That's right.
Yes,
We're
sir.
family. It's not like some thing, we're going to work together because there's no because. We are family.
Yes, sir.
And when those of you who've got biological brothers and sisters, when you left home, your biological sister lives in a particular house, and you left and you lived in another house, your biological sister or brother have got different curtains to you. Didn't stop you from still being brothers and sisters. You've got carpet on your floor, your brother in the other house has got wood on his floor. You're still brothers and sisters. Another brother or sister of yours has got tiles in their bathroom. You don't have tiles in your bathroom. You've got linoleum. We call it lino. We stop the killing. It's not going to stop with us coming into rooms like this and just talking. It will stop when we go out and confront our young people, befriend them, become a real, genuine brother or sister to the youth. Let them see us. And I've got to say it like this to you, because I know some of you won't want to do this, but I've got to tell you the truth. The more uniformed we are, the more we look like an army, the more they will want to join us. If we're all over the place, see, they respect this. When they see 10 of us like this, 20 of us like this, 30 of us like this, they say, man, I want to be part of that. That's what the youth want. The only reason why they don't respect us as men is because they don't see us as men moving like men. Every set of men on this planet have got a self-interest plan. Chinese men move together, man.
That's
I was in Chinatown one night when England played Scotland at football and Scotland lost at Wembley. That was before the new Wembley, back in the day. And the Scottish football supporters got drunk. And they thought they could come into Wardour Street and make mayhem. And they broke one of the windows in Wardour Street, a Chinese man's shop window. And I saw little Chinese men coming out of cellars, coming downstairs, and every one of them had a little axe in his hand. And they kicked 7 bells by the end of Wardour School. That was my destination that night. But I stopped and I looked at this, and the police had to come and rescue those Scottish supporters.
Right.
And get them out there. No Chinese man went to jail because there was about 60 of them. And they were angry. Get out! Until you and I command the street.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to say too much because this is because you got to understand this is our plan. We've got to have some of this earth that we can call our own.
That's right.
If we don't own nothing, if we don't control nothing,
Come on.
no respect.
Come on.
That's right.
And our youth won't respect us.
That's right.
The youth want to see men moving on a level.
That's right.
Asian men, don't mess with them.
That's right.
Collectively, they will deal with you.
Yes, right.
See, the Sikh man, he's so powerful. I know I'm going on. I've got to close, man. The Sikh man is so powerful, Brother Barry, that he can walk around with a dagger
That's right.
on the basis of his religion. Rasta man goes into court, the judge tell him, take that thing off your head. No, Your Honor, it's my tongue, it's my crown. Take it off, or I will get the prison officers to hold you down and take it off. No respect, because he's on his own. He hasn't got an army outside. That's the only thing they respect. That's why that's one of the reasons why the Honorable Louis Farrakhan is so highly respected. They may not like him,
That's right.
but they better respect him
Yes, sir.
because he commands an army.
Yes.
Here's one of his little baby soldiers. We got to stop the killing, but we can't do that unless we go out and engage with our people.
Yes, sir.
And the number one ingredient that we must have with us when we go to these youth is love.
Yes, sir.
Love. A genuine love. Know that that little brother is you. And that you are that little brother. May Allah bless you as I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum.
I greet you, my beloved and beautiful black sisters and brothers and others, with the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Hotep. Alafia. Free the land. What's up? And black laws for all black people. It's indeed my honor to be a part of history. We set forth here tonight that the Black Holocaust is 100 times worse than the so-called Jew Holocaust. Why do we even need to make a comparison?